Hello everyone at Da Vinci School. My name is Sakura, and I'm a teacher who teaches useful lessons for life. Let's begin today's lesson. What's up, Taro?
Since I have to submit my report soon, I drank some energy drink and a pork cutlet bowl just to get my energy up, but I got sleepy and drowsy for some reason.
Yeah, that's counterproductive.
Seriously? Well, I guess I'll have a cup of coffee to help me with the sleep then.
I can't recommend that either.
Why is that? I heard they actually help.
Actually, there are some foods that the more you eat, the more they burden your body.
What? No way!
Calm down, calm down. Let's take a look at the foods that make you tired. Have you ever felt tired after a meal? Or felt unusually sleepy or fatigued?
Come to think of it, there are times when I feel like I can't get rid of fatigue all the time.
There are certain foods in this world that make you tired when you eat them. And in order to make your body less tired, you need to consciously avoid them. First of all, caffeine.
Apparently, the energy drink I just drank contains caffeine as well. But I tend to think that energy drinks help me stay focused.
It's true that caffeine has been reported to increase brain function in the short term. However, there is an appropriate amount for everything.
Just the right amount?
That's right. If you consume too much caffeine because you are tired, it will make you more tired.
In the first place, why does caffeine make you feel like you can concentrate better or that you can do something extraordinary?
It has a lot to do with a substance called adenosine.
Adenosine?
Adenosine is a sleep substance that increases the desire for sleep, and it's also known as a fatigue substance that makes you feel tired. This adenosine keeps increasing in the brain while we are awake.
So it's this adenosine thing that makes you feel tired, right?
That's right, and the caffeine in question acts on this adenosine and can stop you from feeling sleepy. That's why you don't feel tired or sleepy when you take caffeine.
If that's the case, why don't you just keep taking caffeine?
Do you ever think that when you keep on taking painkillers, they seem to be more ineffective?
Well, I think I understand.
Just like taking too much medicine or anything else can build up a tolerance, taking too much caffeine can build up a tolerance and make it ineffective. If you take too much caffeine, you'll develop a tolerance to it and it won't work for you anymore. If this occurs, adenosine will take whatever actions it desires in the body, and you will be exhausted as a result of the stronger effect of adenosine.
I guess the right amount of anything is important, but how much is the right amount?
In general, it is said that you need to limit your intake of coffee to about 4 cups per day.
Only 4 cups? That's a bit too harsh.
I think you might be addicted to caffeine.
That may be so. What should I do?
Then you should try caffeine fasting for once.
Does caffeine fasting mean no caffeine at all?
Yes, it does. Generally speaking, it takes about 10 days to get rid of caffeine and get back to normal. By the way, when you do a caffeine fast, you may experience headaches or feel a heavy fatigue.
What? Is that normal?
It's okay. These are the symptoms of caffeine withdrawal, and it may be very painful at first, but rest assured that these symptoms will go away in about 3 days.
I think I could manage to hang in there for about 3 days.
I hope you'll do your best to get over it so that you can get the caffeine out of your brain. If you do a caffeine fast for about 10 days and then take caffeine again, the caffeine will work better and you'll be able to concentrate better. How much coffee do you drink a day? Let me know in the comments. The next food that can make you tired is phosphates.
Phosphates?
Phosphate is a food additive that is often used in processed foods, such as ham and sausage. It is also used as a preservative, an emulsifier for dairy products, etc. It is considered to be a very useful food additive in the production of processed foods.
Gosh, it's food that's contained in very familiar places, isn't it?
Yes, it is. There are also concerns about the health effects of excessive phosphate intake, such as reduced bone density, kidney disease, and mental disorders.
Ugh, scary.
According to the National Institute of Health and Nutrition, too much processed food can interfere with the absorption of calcium and other health effects, so we need to be careful. Well, I guess it's best not to take phosphates.
I think I'm getting it.
Also, in an experiment using mice in the US, it was reported that the activity level of the mice decreased when they were fed food containing a lot of inorganic phosphate. They also found that they were not producing fatty acids, which are necessary for muscle building, as well as a lower level of physical activity.
That's more serious than I thought. Now that we know the effects of mice, what about humans?
There's good data here too. When they analyzed data from healthy adults, they found that people on diets high in phosphate, like the mice, experienced a decrease in exercise and activity as phosphate levels increased.
Whoa! Processed foods are still really suspicious.
Based on the results, the researchers advised people to consume fresh, unprocessed foods instead of processed foods.
From now on, I'll be sure to check food labels when I go shopping.
Also, as a side note, besides phosphates, processed foods have bad oils and large amounts of sugar added to them, so you better not eat them. The last food that makes you tired is high carbohydrate and high fat food.
This is somewhat understandable. I've heard that it raises blood sugar, right?
That's right. When you feel sleepy after eating, it is usually because you have eaten a high-carb, high-fat meal.
I ate a bowl of pork cutlet earlier, and I was really sleepy.
According to one study, high carbohydrate and high fat meals lead to post-meal drowsiness, with fatigue peaking an hour to an hour and a half after finishing the meal.
I'm fighting desperately against sleepiness in class, but why do I get sleepy?
That's right. The reason why high carbohydrate meals make you sleepy and tired is because of the sudden rise in blood sugar levels. For example, when you eat white rice, bread, spaghetti, which are high in carbohydrates, your blood sugar level rises rapidly. When this happens, the body senses the abnormality and rushes to secrete a large amount of insulin to lower the blood sugar level. This causes a sudden drop in blood glucose level, which leads to hypoglycemia and sleepiness.
Katsudon is a lump of carbohydrates and fat, and you've made the wrong choice. On the other hand, are there any foods that prevent drowsiness?
To prevent drowsiness, it's important not to raise blood sugar too much. In this regard, low GI foods such as nuts and brown rice are good to consume. And a high-fat meal can also make you feel sleepy. Here's a study. Men who consume a diet high in fat are more likely to feel sleepy during the day and suffer from sleep disturbances and sleep apnea at night.
I love potatoes and pizza. Should I stop?
Well, those are just a bunch of fat.
But why do people who eat a diet high in fat tend to get sleepy? It doesn't seem to cause a sudden rise in blood sugar like carbohydrates do.
They say it's because it has a negative effect on orexin.
Orexin?
Orexin, a brain substance, is said to be the substance in the brain that keeps us awake. It is said that high-fat foods may have a negative effect on orexin, making it impossible to stay awake and therefore making us sleepy. Finally, let's summarize what we have learned so far. The first food that can make you tired are foods that contain caffeine, such as coffee and energy drinks. In order for caffeine to keep you awake, it must be consumed in moderate amounts.
Yes, I'm gonna stop guzzling energy drinks and coffee.
If you take too much caffeine on a daily basis, you'll build up a tolerance and, on the contrary, get tired easily. Secondly, processed foods with added phosphates.
I've never paid attention to them before, but I'm gonna check the packages properly before buying them.
I prefer avoiding processed foods that contain additives, not just phosphates. And last but not the least, high carbohydrate and high fat foods.
I'll try to stay away from gut-busting donburi type foods, ramen, pizza, and snacks.
Especially white rice, the staple food of the Japanese, because it's high in carbohydrates and easily raises blood sugar levels, making you sleepy.
I wanted to take in as much good food as possible. Food that would become my blood and flesh. I'll do my best to clear my mind of fatigue and sleepiness and submit my report.